this event. Thank you.
Mr. Vice Chancellor, distinguished lecturer of today, Honorable Justice Bayo, the registrar of the university, the deans here present, I heartily welcome you. The dean of DPA of Planning, you're welcome. My colleagues, and students, welcome. This is the second of the series of public lecture that we have designed to ensure the bit of time and gap. Like the Bachelor said, apart from the law, the book, we need also to see how it works in practice. And that is why we are bringing practitioners in the field to share their ideas with us. You will recall that last year, the senior architect of Nigeria was invited to deliver the public lecture. Today we are having our missed an erudite church to share his experience with us. The students also find this lecture very productive and interesting. Those in 200 level, we taught them independence of judiciary. One of the issues they mentioned as the bottleneck is the corruption in the judiciary. Now that the lecture is being presented on that, my Lord will share his experience with us. And we also want to know also whether indeed the issue of corruption in the judiciary has been so magnified. Because really, the confidence of the people in the judiciary must not be eroded. The judiciary is indispensable for democracy to thrive. I'm sure at the end of this lecture, we all have two things to take away, and then we benefit from the lecture. And I wish you happy listening. Thank you.
Before the short presentation by the law students, we want to welcome the registrar, Mr. Adewale Adetunji. Welcome. The school bursar, Dr. Michael Alatishe. You're welcome, sir. The Dean of Students Affairs, Dr. Titiloye Ojo. You're welcome, sir.
Good day, everyone, and welcome to the KDU Law Clinic.
The next item on the agenda is the short presentation by Faculty of Law students.
Good day, everyone, and welcome to the KDU Law Clinic. You may ask, what do we do?
The Law Clinic offers a wide range of assistance, such as pro bono.
The Law Clinic plays a vital role in providing help and support for our fellow students. So, take it as your help you.
Mission is to
provide support to those who are affected by bullying and also to educate our community about their rights.
We help to facilitate access to justice with less privilege members of the society.
We encourage you to reach out to us for help. Confidentiality is our priority.
Let's work together to create a supportive environment where everyone feels safe and respected. Good day, everyone. Welcome to the KBU.
Crime is not just an action, it's a shadow that spreads. Every 60 seconds, somewhere in the world, a crime is being committed. But the greatest crimes are not the one we see, but the one hidden in offices and systems. Crimes may take many forms. It steals peace from the society. It robs hope of the innocent.
It is a general knowledge that any crime committed is prohibited against the state, and such crime is punishable under the law. But when corruption seeps into justice, it weakens the foundation of the society itself.
The failure of the criminal justice system to respond effectively to crime is often linked to corruption, which undermines the very foundation of justice and erodes public trust.
Corruption is one of the significant challenges that is faced by the Nigerian justice system.
Nigeria's criminal justice system is powerful, but it needs to be cleansed and strengthened if it's truly going to serve the people. These new strategies: 1, we have institutional reforms; 2, legal education and ethical training, digitalization and case management.
Over the years, efforts have been made to reform the system, such as introducing laws like the Administration of Criminal Justice Act, ACJA 2015, to improve efficiency and to protect defendants' rights. In summary, crime is a trigger. The system exists to respond to, control it, and prevent it.
Justice is built on truth, integrity, and accountability. The fight against crimes and corruption begins not only in the courtrooms, but in the acts of courageous men like you and I.
Crime is not just an action, it's a shadow that spreads.
Stand on existing protocol, I would like to give an address. This is a publication of the Kolaba University Faculty of Law. And the faculty has established the annual lecture series on contemporary law as part of continuing legal education and academic advancement of students and staff. The lectures assist in dealing the subject matter at every age, far beyond knowledge acquired in the regular class. This edition reiterates that justice is a sacrosanct ideal to humanity, and that the justice system does not start and end with the court alone. It addresses the development of effective strategies to combat corruption in the administration of criminal justice system in Nigeria. The lecture is topical and relevant as it addresses practical questions which legal practitioners, academic scholars, judges, undergraduate and graduate students desire authoritative responses and reference citations. In the lecture, His Lordship, Honorable Justice Bayo A. Taiwo, offers hands-on experience and well-informed insights from the bench into how corruption can be strategically curtailed in the administration of criminal justice system in Nigeria. My Lord elucidates on what the Nigerian justice system connotes, highlights areas of the judicial system structure that are prone to corrupt practices. From His Lordship's wealth of experience on the bench, he propounds pathways of identifying the various institutions expected to play critical roles in overhauling the fabric of criminal justice process for a functional dispensation of criminal justice system. in Oyo State in particular, and Nigeria in general. The Faculty of Law Lecture Series Committee, in the persons of Dr. P.O. Oyemakinde, Mrs. Ebonoluwa Oshisowo, and I appreciate all academic and non-teaching staff of the faculty for their support. The committee also appreciates our wonderful students for their support. Further appreciation goes to the Dean of Law, Professor K.O. Amusa, for his leadership and guidance. Special and profound appreciation goes to our revered Vice Chancellor, Professor A.I. Olatunbosun, SAN, for his superlative support and direction. Remarkably, the initiative of this lecture series has been that of the Vice Chancellor, to whom we are grateful. The committee brings on board Faculty of Law Lecture 2025. I remain Dr. Temilade Jola-Osho. Thank you. With the kind permission of the Vice Chancellor, and while also standing on existing protocols, I would like to ask His Lordship, Honorable Justice Bayo Ademola Taiwo, to please rise and come to the podium while we take the citation. We'll take the citation. I take the citation of Honorable Justice Bayo Ademola Taiwo. Honorable Justice Bayo Ademola Taiwo was born on the 4th of March, 1968. He hails from the ancient city of Ibadan, Oyo State, Nigeria. He attended LEA Primary School, Kaduna, from 1973 to 1979, after which he proceeded to Rimini College, Kaduna, for his secondary school education. He later gained admission into the University of Ife, graduated in 1994, and was called to the Nigerian Bar in 1995. He observed his youth service course at Yola, Adamawa State, and began his practice between 1996 to 1997 with Dele Adeshino, SAN, and Co. at Allen Avenue, Lagos. He thereafter proceeded to Agbaje, SAN, and Co. from 1997 to 1998. He joined the Federal Ministry of Justice in 1999 and worked with the Department of Public Prosecution between 1999 and 2001. My Lord Justice was posted to the Independent and Corrupt Practices Commission as a prosecutor from 1999 to 2010. He was posted to the Department of Civil Litigation at the Federal Ministry of Justice between 2010 and 2013. On the 27th day of May 2013, he was appointed a judge of Oyo State Judiciary. He sat as a judge at Erua, Oyo, Ogbomoso, Shaki, Kishi, and now in Ibadan Judicial Division. Honorable Justice Bayo Ademola Taiwo has delivered many landmark judgments with a special reference to the conviction and sentencing of the CEO of a Ponzi scheme to 75 years imprisonment to run concurrently for multiple investment fraud. My Lord belongs to the most prestigious professional body that is, the Nigerian Bar Association. He has a few hobbies, which include, but are not limited to, watching sports, listening to music, jazz music, old school music. He loves to walk and swim. With a warm welcome, we present our guest lecturer, Honorable Justice Bayo Ademola Taiwo.
Please sit down. The Vice Chancellor of this university. Before I start with the Vice Chancellor, I want to start with do I say Chancellor, or the man that had the vision of establishing this university? I've been taking around and I'm so impressed. I didn't know it was this big. We should congratulate whoever had that vision. Chief Kola Daisy. Or do I say Kola Daisy SAN? Well, while introducing your Vice Chancellor, I'm used, don't worry, I grew up in the desert. So even if there is no fan, I'm fine. Don't worry. While introducing the Vice Chancellor of KDU, I heard KDU for the first time today. I think he was not introduced properly. In our circle, we call him Prof. San Visi. I'm not aware of any other Prof. San Visi in Nigeria again except him. I'm not aware of anyone. We used to have one, but he's late. Mohammed Akombi of Kwara State University. So you are lucky to have a Prof. San Visi. I'm going to continue using or stand or sit on the existing protocol which has been led. While I was being taken to the office of the Vice Chancellor, it occurred to me that, why don't you do JAMB again and come to the university? But I knew straight away that I will not score 80 over 400, so I dropped that idea. So that shows that if I want to mention all the names of the Vice Chancellor, the Registrar, whoever has been mentioned, Dean, Bossa, I will not remember. So please forgive me. I stand on the existing protocols. Now let's go to the paper. The title is Developing Effective Strategies for Combating Corruption and in the Administration of Criminal Justice System in Nigeria. Once everybody says corruption, nobody needs any definition. By the time you hear Nigeria, the first thing that you hear again is corruption. By the time you hear judicial system, nobody will say anything again. Judicial system, court, Abi. So if you now match court, judicial system, and corruption, interpret it yourself. Now, from the introduction, I'm sure they will send soft copies to everybody. You have it already, okay? You will get hard copy, soft copy, cooked copy, raw copy, anyone you want, you will get it, don't worry. Now, I started by saying that the word corruption is as old as the judicial system in Nigeria. If you are old enough to remember the former TV program called Ichioku, how many of you remember that program? That I think it was Gringori that used to do it then. What happened in the program is that the white man who was administering the courts does not speak our native language. Now the litigants who will go and testify and file cases don't speak English. So they need a Nigerian to interpret from the local language to English for the judge to write down and make his pronouncement. And an interpreter to interpret what the judge says. At that time, people were bribing the interpreter to interpret wrongly. Now, if a judge writes down the wrong testimony, imagine the kind of judgment he will deliver. So it's that old. Even before the word Nigeria came in, when we had protectorates, it was happening. Now, the issue is that, what is judicial system? Which area of the judicial system is corrupt? Is it every system that is corrupt? Filing of affidavit is part of judicial system now. You want to file a case in court, judicial system now, Abi? You need a probate letter. Somebody has died and they want to take over, the children want to take over judicial system now. Deciding cases, Babanla judicial system, Abi. Okay. Who are the people involved in corruption? Is it the judge? Is it the registrar, the clerk of the court? Because you as a judge, you are sitting down in your office. You don't know what is happening. When you are in your chambers, the court is open. People come in and go out. How do you know what is happening there? You don't know. Then, can corruption be removed from our society? Can we wipe out corruption? Is it possible? You are saying no. Okay. Now I'll just read out the definition of the decision of the judicial system which we have here. Well, it's a sacrosanct idea to humanity and an ultimate safeguard of human rights, dignity, moral, and order in the society. Justice means different things to different people, and a lawyer may consider justice as the application of the rule of law. Justice, in particular, discourse means getting what one deserves. Do people get what they deserve in our Nigerian courts? Nobody can answer. Okay. That is fairness, moral righteousness, and equality. Well, a case was cited, Rex versus Sussex Justice, which says that justice must not only be done, but must be seen to be done and manifestly done. Now, we talk about the stability and quality of a society, and the laws are often determined by the degree of importance of the society attached to the system embarked for the administration and dispensation of justice. Let me break it down to your level. Let me use the Nigerian language. If you want to know how advanced a society is, by the time you go to that country, tell anybody there, take me to your prison, I want to see your prison, or I want to see your police station. Whatever you see there, use it to define their judicial system. If they use that as a criteria in Nigeria, how will they define us? How many of you have had the opportunity of stepping into a prison before? Not as an inmate. How many have gone into Agodi prison or Abolongo in Oyo? What did you see there? Is it pleasant? Can you eat inside a Nigerian prison? If they serve you their food, will you eat it? If they ask you to go and come and spend the weekend in Agodi prison, will you go there? Even after you leave the prison for whatever reason, will you eat that day in your house? Who said yes there? Okay. The judiciary must be independent. Independence in the sense that nobody should dictate to the judiciary. Nobody should tell the judiciary, this is what you should do. This is how you should do it. The competence and integrity of the bench are essential for the role of the law. Now, if you have a judge or a magistrate who you have given bribe before, let's assume that I used to be the dean here, and they now make me a judge, and I collect bribe from students. You score 30 over 100 in criminal contract, law of contract. Instead of you to go and read Sage, you will not read it, you'll be playing games on your computer. So you now come and meet me that, okay, I want A now. I go and bring 200,000 now. And you give me 200,000. And I change your 30. You know, there's a way you now add 3 behind it. It will turn to 80 over 100, have you? So they now make me a judge. What kind of impression will you have about me? Won't you say, don't mind that, no problem. If I have man matter with that one, I won the case, don't worry. Is it not that by your time? Enyomi gidini, padimini. Integrity. Socrates postulated that 4 things belong to a judge. That is, to hear cautiously. You must listen attentively. To answer wisely. To consider soberly. And to decide impartially. They talked about impartiality again. When you want to take a decision as a judge, you don't look at anybody's face. If I decide this case like this, the governor will not be happy. Who cares? If I decide this case like this, the president might not like it. Who cares? As a judge, you don't look. If you look at the statute, you know when you go to the high court, there's a woman whose face is covered and she's holding a sword. You know the meaning? She's not looking at anybody's face. when she wants to take her decision to use this word, she's not looking at, this is my neighbor's child, oh. This is my, no. You don't look at anybody's face when you want to take your decision. Contrary to the wide-held notion that the judicial system starts and ends with the court alone, the judicial system certainly goes beyond the courts. The court is the terminal end in the judicial system, but before any matter goes to court, it must have passed through several stages. Nobody wakes up and say, charge. The Ponzi scheme which she mentioned was investigated by EFCC. And I think I decided it in December 2023. The man collected over 8 billion from people in Ibadan. And by the time they couldn't even recover anything in his account, I think it was less than 1,000 by the time they checked his account. So the question now is that if it took 2 years to finish the case, everybody will say, it took 2 years. The court, somebody that took 8 billion, the court wasted time and it took 2 years to finish the case. Nobody will take into consideration how long did it take to investigate it? Which offices were involved in the investigation? What role did the lawyers who defended him play, considering the time the trial commenced and terminated? What role did the prosecutor play? Now, I will now talk about the institutions that cases go through before a matter goes to court. Well, I started with the police, EFCC. I need not tell you what EFCC means. As law student, I'm sure you know what EFCC means. You know what ICPC means. You know what NSCDC, Security and Civil Defense. DSS, you know that one now. NAPTIP, agency that deals with child trafficking. You know that one. CBN and so. You see, before matters, particularly criminal matters, are filed in court, there is what is called a complaint will be lodged, investigation will be carried out, legal opinion will be formed, then a criminal charge is filed. Of course, a court is not involved in all those stages. Because at the investigation stage, you can say, look, there's no case against ABCD. You can say, you can arrest 10, charge 5, leave 5. These days, too, we have other agencies involved in criminal investigation. INEC. You know, we have electoral offenses. Recently, INEC, some people were charged to court by INEC for electoral offenses. Recently, the court took a decision and said, look, INEC cannot charge. As at the time I was writing this, I was of the opinion that INEC too can charge, but they have decided that INEC cannot charge. I will get the authority and send to Dr. Jola Osho, and she'll forward it to you. CBN, you know when you spray Naira now? No be wahala. What landed Madam Lagos, Mommy Lagos? You will know that one. Well, the courts have no powers to receive, but you can't go to court and go and report that. I can't go to Akinyele police station and go and say, I went to Professor Amusa's office today to say hello to him, and he slapped me and 4 of my teeth fell off. What will the court do? Can the court look into that? What I stated is that the courts don't have statutory powers to receive complaints, criminal complaints, even civil complaints. If you have a complaint, criminal, you have to proceed to the agency involved or set up to investigate, that has powers to investigate such armed robbery, rape, stealing, obtaining money by false pretense, corruption. Like corruption now, if I ask a student that you want to pass, you will spend 20 years in this university, I will not allow you to graduate. You don't give me 1 million, you will be failing my course every year. The student naturally, if he feels aggrieved, the next thing is to make arrangements, go to ICPC, go to the police, and they'll give me mark money. And I'll collect it. Is it not wahala? I did one in Kano. A high court judge collected 30,000 bribe. High court judge, this was 2002. He was giving mark money. He was caught red-handed. Now, we have instances where some offenses must go through at least 2 police stations. The primary police station where the crime was reported to. If you go to Akinyele police station or Ojo, you know Ojo police station, the one by the roundabout. If you go and report a case of, say, rape, armed robbery, offenses that are capital offense, they will receive the complaint, register it, do small preliminary investigation, and send it to the state headquarters, either state CID or SAS. You know what SAS means now? So those are for capital offenses, but for other offenses, the primary police station can investigate. That is for investigation of crime alone. You know, at that stage, no court is involved. Investigation can take a year, 6 months. High-tech investigation, like the CBEX. You know CBEX now, you've heard of CBEX. If they want to investigate CBEX, can they investigate CBEX in 1 week? 1 month, uncle? 6 months, uncle? 1 year, uncle? So if you now calculate, I invested 10 million in CBEX. They investigated for 2 months, for 2 years. To determine the case, took the court another 2 years. Judgment was delivered after 6 years. The criminal justice system took 6 years for me to get judgment in CBEX case. The question is it the fault of the court? Now, next stage is the Ministry of Justice. When cases are investigated by the police, 2 things will happen. The police has the powers to charge an individual to court for the offenses which he or she has committed. Or the file will be forwarded. In most cases, they are forwarded to the Ministry of Justice. The Ministry of Justice will form an opinion, write a legal opinion, and decide we are charging A to court, we are charging B to court, we are charging for armed robbery, we are charging for only robbery, we are not charging anybody. That takes time. If the agencies like EFCC, ICPC, NAPTIP, NSCDC have their own internal legal department. You'll have heard that I worked in ICPC for 9 years. I was in the legal department. When the investigators investigate, they forward the file to us. We form our legal opinion. We don't have to send to the ministry. And the one we are charging to court, we will charge to court. The one we will not charge, we will not charge. The one we want additional investigation, we'll call for additional investigation. Now we have talked about 2. Investigation, the ministry for legal opinion, then the correctional center, prison. That's another aspect alone. Once a suspect is arrested, generally the first thing in practice they do is that they are taken to the magistrate court, get the magistrate to issue detention order and dump him in the prison. He will be in the prison till investigation will be completed, file will be forwarded to the ministry, and then he'll be charged to court. Sometimes, though, some people spend 2 years, 3 years waiting for that one, though it has changed now. It's not like before. So when the file is forwarded to the ministry, pending the time opinion is formed, the man will be cooling off in detention, manned by correctional officers, and their role is to keep suspects in detention before trial or during trial before judgment is delivered. And then, after judgment is convicted, is to serve the sentence with them, pending the time he finishes his term, if the sentencing is for a term, or pending the time he will pay. You know what pay means? Till he pay if he's somebody that is sentenced to death, or till the government will carry out execution of the judgment. Now we have talked about investigation. We have talked about the ministry. We have talked about the correctional centers. Have we talked about court at this stage? All those 3, sometimes we have spent 2 years. Now, finally, a charge will now be filed in court. They are filed in court. What is the procedure for filing in court? They file criminal charge, charging for so and so. They file, they go to the registry. You file there. The registry will take the file, send it to the chief judge. The chief judge will now assign, which judge will I give this one? Let me give Justice Jola Osho. You will handle it. They will assign it to our courts. If a file is filed on 1st April, and it gets to the office of the chief judge that day or the next day, and the chief judge has Abuja for Council of Legal Education meeting. What will happen? Won't it wait a bit till the chief judge comes? And let's assume that number 2, in some states, the second judge, the second judge, that is number 2, can assign cases. Some states, they will wait until the chief judge comes. Then the chief judge will assign. The chief judge will assign and send to the judge that will handle it. I'm here standing discussing with you. Assuming they have sent 10 files to me this morning, will he not wait till I come before I give them date? Okay, let's assume maybe you went to work yesterday now and he came yesterday. Give them date now. And you give them date. What's today's date? 23rd. Okay, file came to me 23rd. I check my diary. And I will give date of 29th, 30th. What I do, my own style is that I ask them to call the lawyers in the ministry. I have 5 criminal matters before me. Which date do I give them? I don't want a situation whereby we'll give date and you say, it's not convenient. I'm on leave. I'm doing this one. Because if you give a date and they are not in court, you will adjourn. And they say, my Lord, if we only 10th May, how many days has been wasted? We have talked about 6 weeks now. Some judges don't do that. They'll just give any day. Okay, 10th May. Correctional center. Sometimes they bring some from Abolongo. My Lord, they call from Abolongo that their vehicle is not good. They are not coming. Another adjournment. What do you do? Is it the fault of the judge? Now, is it the fault of the police? No. Is it the fault of the CJ? No. But they are being sincere. My Lord, I'm sorry, our vehicle is not functioning. It's bad. There's nothing we'll do. You give another date. We are looking at 2 months now. Okay, you are lucky none of those happened. They are in Agodi. No strike. No Jusun strike. No fear of riot. They brought them to court. Case start now. Take plea now. I don't have a lawyer. Can you do capital offense without lawyer? The answer is no. Anyway, let's do that. I will get back to that one again. Now, I talked about those involved in the process in the courts. 1, the registry. Those are the ones that will receive it. If you want to file now, you not go and dump it in the office of the chief judge direct now. Now, assignment by chief judge, the court registrar who moved the files. We have situations where when you want to file anything in the court, you go and file in the registry. When you file in the registry, it is the duty of the people in the registry to bring the process to the court. Because each will have the court number. That's where they will take it to. If the lawyer makes mistake and writes court 8 there for a matter which is in court 9, where will they take it? Is it not court 8? We have processes. I have processes in my court file since December that we have not seen, except we'll see it today. Except we'll see it today. Now we have belief section. You know what belief is? Those who go and serve processes. Those ones are another headache again. Leave that one for another day. We have, like I mentioned, probate section before. Now I want to take them one after the other. Then the open court. That is the final court that we hear. High court or magistrate court. I deliberately talked about all these areas so that you have an idea of what it takes before a matter we enter court, and they will call the case. Which court is the matter? It's before Justice Taiwo. I deliberately mentioned all this so that you see the process in which it will go through before it will get to the judge. I assure you that sometimes these processes which I mentioned, 1 month, 6 weeks, 8 weeks. Now, the open court. After all those filing, the matter eventually gets to the magistrate or judge that will hear it. So, when we are talking about corruption now, so which areas do you think is prone to corruption in all these ones I've mentioned? Now, take the first one, investigation. You know, I talked about police, EFCC, ICPC, NAPTIP, DSS. The investigating bodies, are they corrupt? Well, that is the first layer, the first step in which anybody will go through. We are talking of the administration of criminal justice. Now, which kind of corruption do people encounter when they are before the investigation bodies? Number one is influencing the outcome of investigation. We know how we do them now. Bring money, I go help you settle them, no problem. Just make sure that so and so is the investigation activity is in my favor. I don't want to face criminal trial. Just kill them. I want you to kill it for me. I had a life. The first time I heard of this one was when I was in ICPC. A body was being investigated, the Nigerian Football Association, NFF. So somebody wanted somebody in NFF removed so that they can put another one. The file came to me, not even NFF, Copyright Commission. They wanted somebody removed. The file now came to me. The investigation were pressuring me. Charge him to court, charge him to court. I looked at the file, I said, look, I want additional investigation activities. The investigation activities you did is not enough. There are some areas which you have to clear. Until you clear those areas, that is when I will know if I'm charging A or B or C to court, or I'm not charging anybody. No, just charge them to court. If we finish, we can bring that. I said, no, I refuse. Hold and behold. When the additional investigation activities came, those they wanted me to charge to court had no case. So if I had charged them to court, that would have been the basis of removing them from the office and putting another person there. So not only the people influence investigation activities in their own favor, they also do it in a way that they want A removed from a particular office so that they will put them there. That one happens. Particularly if the person is holding a public office or a political office. It happens a lot. That's why sometimes you see that they have charged ABCD to court. At the end of the day, the court will discharge them. Where is the evidence? Neil. About 4 years ago, there was what was called offer robbery. The way they were portraying it then, the then Senate president, the man from Kwara, by now he should have been killed. I don't know him, he does not know me. When he left the Senate seat, have you heard anything of offer robbery again? They have charged the people to court. Did they charge him to court? Now, how about the issue of detaining people or individual at the pleasure of another? I will show you Shege. I will show you. Do you know me? Do you know who I am? You pay a policeman to get him detained so that you know that I'm the one. You will be too akusilo, eh? I hope everybody speaks Yoruba here. Majority. Okay. What I'm saying now is that you pay a policeman to get somebody arrested because you want to show him Pepe. You know Pepe now? You want to deal with him, you pay and it happens. They will cook up a story against him. They might even charge him for rape. He didn't do anything. He didn't even go near a man, talk less of a woman. We see a lot in court. Sometimes you'll be wondering that, so how did this one now get to court? But because you are the judge, you can't say that one openly. The next thing that they have given him bribe. How about deliberately encouraging suspects to escape and refusal to produce witness in court? We have situations whereby security agencies deliberately help suspects to escape. How do you do that? You don't have to open the doors of the prison. They are the ones that will tell you, see, if they don't give you bail, run. Run, oh. If the court grants bail and before the judge will sign the bail papers, they have to go and verify the sureties to make sure that the address which they gave is correct. Whatever they have signed, everything is correct. The people who are to do that are the ones that will assist in producing fake ones. So that when you are looking for the person, the suspect from escaping from justice, is it not the man that assisted him in cooking fake papers? Again, if you have a criminal matter in court, you are adjourned today, no witness. I'm sorry, we don't have a witness in court. Tomorrow, you do 20 adjournments. The next thing is that they will call for that, look, They don't have any witness. Release the man. Security people and court people do it deliberately. They are the one that will threaten the witness that if I see you in court, you will join him in prison. He's a witness, so he's the victim. Oh. Come to court and see. Who will hear that one will go there again. Now we're talking about bail, arrest and bail now. We all know that if you are going now, an average Nigerians, if he sees any roadblock or see 4 policemen standing, if he has his way, will he not turn back and go and follow another way? Even if he didn't do anything. No? You are driving your car, everything is complete. If you see policemen stopping, what's the next thing you will do? Why is it so? Because we are so accustomed to needless arrest. When there's no need, is when they will arrest you. The one that we commit offense, gone. That one we pass. But you that your papers, correct. Fire extinguisher, you have it. Spare tire, you have 2 self, not 1. Everything. They will check your boot. I'm suspecting that this car is stolen. This car is stolen. Let God catch you and you have dreadlock on your head. Or you pierce your ears. You are a Yahoo boy. You they do 419. Let's go to station. And why is this so? Because bail is lucrative. Do they grant bail free in Nigeria? But if a policeman knows that if he arrests needlessly, he might lose his job. He might be demoted. Will it not stop? When I was working with Dele Adesina in Lagos, a relation of mine has hairdressing salon in Ketu. I don't know what happened between, they didn't do my hair well. They did my hair well. They didn't do my hair well. The woman now the customer went to report to the DPO. So the DPO got men with gun to go and arrest the owner of the hairdressing salon. The woman now turned out to be the girlfriend of the DPO. So what do you expect? So they now contacted me. I was young then. I won't forget the name of the female lady that investigated the matter, Joke Muritala. I've not forgotten that name since then. K2 police station is just along the road. So I went to her. They granted bail. I think the DPO saw that a young lawyer came. They granted bail. They charged the woman to court. They were even going to take them to Kirikiri. When they sent for me in my office, they granted them bail. And you know, if you don't perfect your bail papers, you wait in Kirikiri till they perfect it. They were looking at themselves. I don't even. They were saying, we don't even understand. Anyway, I processed the paper and everything ended like that. They went home. So, you know, they will always say, despite the fact that they have been charged to court, they always tell them, be reporting to the police station. So one of those days, I followed them there. So I now saw the lady. She said, go, you can go. When I come back in 5 days. When I come back. So after that time, I told them that they have charged the matter to court. Now we go there by myself. Let them arrest me. Let me see. So I saw her. And I said, why were you in a hurry now? We came to say, lawyer Mabinu. Mabinu means sorry. You see, the DPO's child gave birth. And they say we should go and get 35,000 that they need for naming ceremony. That means they are going to raid. 35,000 was a huge amount of money then. It will buy you. How many of you remember the vehicle they called Dazun Cherry? My friend, my guy in the office bought one 35,000 then. Dazun Cherry then. So now imagine if those people now arrest anybody. You not go and report to the DPO who sent them. Will anything come out of it? So after I saw her, I now asked her, so were you able to raise? She said, we got 100 and something. We're not going to make for ourselves. Now, I mentioned it earlier on, charging people for wrong offenses. A man steals a phone. A pickpocket steals the phone. The next thing is that you charge him for armed robbery, which carries capital offense. Because they say, bring money. You can't produce money. Are they the same thing? In Yoruba language, they say death. Somebody is sleeping and somebody is dead. Are they the same thing? Now, again, I mentioned earlier about forwarding of case file for legal advice by the police. In reality, before even they forward your case for legal advice, they will charge the person. Oh, if your relations don't pay money, you go tell you have to go and raise money because it might be 10 times this. You have to scout for money to photocopy for you to face legal advice. How will you raise money? It's people because of the delay. But if they move fast, that will wipe off that one. It happens particularly, the courts go on vacation between second week in July and second week in September, like the schools. Between them, lawyers file hundreds of thousands of bail applications. You heard about in Ajayi Crowder that a student was beaten to death by fellow students. One would have expected that that kind of file, nobody will waste time with it. If you want to charge, because they arrested so many, the one you want to charge, charge. The one you don't want to charge, don't charge him. But because of the delay, so many, because I even start as a vacation judge in Oyo then, bail application, bail application, bail application, bail application. If the ministry will get an officer, stand by, this file, you are not doing any work, I want my legal opinion within 48 hours, and it is preferred within 48 hours, you have charged, will that not wipe out the issue of bail application? But if it's treated with levity, what do you expect? Now, that again breeds corruption in some states. We have situations whereby legal officers are giving money to come to court and say, I'm not opposing bill. So it doesn't mean that if he or she comes to court and says, I'm not opposing bill, that it is automatic that the judge will grant it. But it sways the mind of the judge a bit sometimes. The man who is charged, they say, I'm not opposing. Or they come and say, we are withdrawing the charge. If you have a DPP who is corrupt, they may decide that we are not charging ABC to court. Or they'll come to God, I have the instruction of the DPP to withdraw this charge. What's the business of the judge? If a student comes here and the parents say that I'm not sending you to KDU again, can the VC say you must be here? Now, rendering advice that exonerate culprits. We have situations where the one that they should charge the court, they will not charge because of influence. We have seen it, that we'll be wondering that when you have charged 1, 2, 3, 4, and then the courts have made it clear, nobody can dictate to the Attorney General of the state how he does his work. He has the final say. I'm charging A to court, I'm charging B to court, I'm charging C to court. There is one case which happened recently. Some people died, some children, 20-something people died, involving a radio presenter and wife of Oni. They made pronouncement that we are charging them to court, even by the governor. At the end of the day, were they charged to court? Can anybody control it? That's an example of the powers of the Attorney General. You can say you are charging, even if you are filed, you can say you are withdrawing. Nothing will happen. It can be done, public interest, due to public interest, sympathy, corruption. I've talked about deliberately encouraging granting of bail to culprits. I've talked about that one too. Now, deliberately delaying trials. If you go to our ministries, in most cases, most ministries, ratio male to female, you have like 7 female, 3 male. I don't know why. Maybe they want to turn them to Ministry of Women Affairs. By the way, even in the legal profession now, I think there are more female lawyers than male lawyers. Even here, I think there are more female than male. Gender balancing. Anyway, one of the reasons that we talk about delay is that if you have a prosecutor who is pregnant, what do? That can't even walk, can't even stand before the judge. And some of the courts are upstairs, 2-story building. By the time she climbs 2-story building, you spend the next 30 minutes sweating, drinking water. What do you do now? She has even managed to come to court. She's even tried. Or some will tell you that, my Lord, I'm sorry, I can only come to court Monday, Wednesday, Thursday. I have to pick my children in school. For God's sake. Can you say no? If you say you must not go, somebody that the child is in school and is sitting in court, it's only the body that will be in court. The soul will not be there again. So what do you expect? Or they have posted me out of the ministry. I'm no more there. I've been posted to civil litigation. I've been posted to legal drafting. The man that is taking over, my Lord, I'm sorry I've just been posted there. I don't know anything about the file. We can't find our witness deliberately. What do you do? Those are the areas that are prone. Now, for the correctional centers, how do they do their own? When they can't bring a suspect to court. I am telling you wholeheartedly that defendants tell us in court that, my Lord, sometimes if we don't give them money, they will not bring us to court. If we don't give money, you do it when our case is coming up, if we don't drop, they will not take us to court. And if a defendant is not in court, what do you do? Are you not adjourning? Can you do his case in his absence? How about preferential treatment to inmates? The case of Bob, what did you call it now? You will know that one. You all had the scandal which erupted after do I call him or her, he or she? Anyone. You all heard about the crisis that erupted after release from prison, that he or she did not even step into Kirikiri. He or she was kept somewhere else. We have situations where the courts used to order that defendants be detained in EFCC custody. We have had situations where they'll say, no, my Lord, I want to be detained in prison, not EFCC custody. Because they know they will get first-class treatment. In the prisons, they have what they call condemned cells. People who have been sentenced to death, they are supposed to be kept in rooms, separate rooms. But they have turned those ones into VIP. Some even sleep in the office of the Ogas. Can they do that one to you free of charge? The man that does not have money, would they allow him sleep inside the Ogas office? Would they allow him sleep in a guest room near the prison or somewhere else? Now again, you see, you cannot do any matter in court without lawyer now. Everybody here, after you have LLB hunts, the next thing is BL. Here you are a lawyer now when they call you to bar. Now, when you go to courts, you see so many things and you'll be wondering that, Ilode, can you do a matter without lawyer? Lawyer will deliberately not come to court because he wants adjournment to frustrate. Lawyers will deliberately tamper with exhibits. What do you do? Lawyers will send series and series and series of letters of adjournment. I told a lawyer in Ogbomoso one day that, Oga lawyer, I'm going to buy a higher education book so that I'll be recording all the excuses you give. So that when you repeat one, I will remind you that, no, that was the one you used last year. Look for another one. We have situations whereby, you know, when you're a lawyer now, somebody say, lawyer, they charge me for offense of stealing, armed robbery. The lawyer will say, you pay me 5 million to defend you. Anytime I'm going to court, you pay me 50,000 as transport. You know, it's a problem. I shall make sure we kill case. Don't worry. You give me another 2 million that I will use to bribe the court staff. You know, they have to be on my side so that whatever is happening in the file, they will let me know. You know, it's a problem. You not give me another 10 million that I will give the judge as bribe. The man that is talking has never seen the chambers of the judge. He doesn't know the judge one-on-one. The time he is billing him, he doesn't even know the judge that will hear the matter. You know, I talked about the procedure for assignment. You go to the chief judge. Then, as at the time he's saying all those ones, he doesn't even know which judge will hear it. So how are you sure that it's the judge that you know that you will give bribe? I hope you will not do that kind of thing when you are called to bar. We have a trend that happens these days. A matter is going on in court. Lawyer has seen that, we go to prison. This case no good though. The next thing that they will cook up a lie against the judge and go and report him, so that they file from the judge and give to another one, they will start afresh. How do you explain that one? Or they write a petition. So and so judge is corrupt. So and so judge is biased. We don't have faith in him. A judge that I have over 800 files. And somebody said they don't want me to handle one. Is that not good riddance of bad rubbish? But if you look at it critically, they are not saying the truth. What they are saying is that they are saying that wahala dey. Now in the perpetrate fraud or bribe, corruption in the court. You know, we have talked about police. We have talked about the ministry, correctional centers. We are going to the court. How does it happen? We've talked about lawyers. How about bribery to influence the adjudicator to collect bribe? If I say that we've not seen situations where magistrates or judges collect bribe, I'll be lying. I've told you about a judge in Kano that I was the one that did the matter. Garba Abdullahi. He's late now. 30,000 bribe then. 30,000 was a huge amount of money then. How do you explain that one? I have handled the matter in Niger State about the magistrate who collected bribe. I did one in FCT. Very pathetic. He collected bribe 30,000 from a law lecturer of a lecturer of University of Abuja. He demanded for 30,000. The man reported to trust lecturer. Now, how much do they pay lecturer? The man reported to ICPC. We got marked money. He said they should bring it to his house on the Saturday. He got to the house. The man took the bribe. Immediately they gave him bribe in his house. The investigator pounced on his house. Recovered the 30,000 from in between, inside of the 3-seater of his chair where he hid it. That's not the story. Guess the pathetic story. They were to sit and make him a judge the next Monday. And he took the bribe on the Saturday. Now, do court staff collect bribe? Go to a court staff now, do a matter, and the court will deliver a ruling or a judgment. Now, if you are lucky, you won the case. Go and meet them and say, judgment you order. You will see how much they will ask you to bring. My Lord, judgment here could be ready. 50,000 lemamua. You have to bring 100,000. Even an order. You know, if you file a case and you have to serve processes, and you can't get the person served, you can do it by substituted means. Either you go and paste it or by whatever means or send it by courier. If the judge grants the order and signs the order, within one day we will sign it, it's in the file, but they will never tell you, except you bring money. Our secretary, that means the secretary is sick. But we know I'll go and get somebody to do it outside. Bring 10,000. Because they know you are desperate, you need it. How will the judge know? In my own situation, in open court, I tell the lawyers, come and take your job, pick your judgment in 5 days. If they don't give you, make a lot of noise. I will hear in my chambers. I will come out. I do that one. You see, because of my experience, I've gone to high courts, handle matter in 33 out of the 36 states. Other states, I probably didn't go to their high court. So I know their attitude. I know what they can do. Now, in some cases, some adjudicators allow their staff to pick dates for hearing of matters. I don't do that. I must pick my date myself. Because I know that they will call their friends and they will influence the date. I'm the one that will sit. I know the dates that I can sit from 9 to 4. I know the dates that, for example, I've been told of this date. If I were to sit today, I certainly know I will not pick today's date. But they won't know. If they have been influenced, they will mess up my diary. So I don't allow them to do that one. So how do they do their own corruption? Demand for bribe for release of judgments, court orders. Do you know that court staff collect money from litigants? That judgment. That me and the judge, I sit down with the judge and we write the judgment together. And of course, those one we give bribe now, that help me follow my file. Immediately the other party files anything. Even before they put it in the file, they have taken it to the other one. You know, I told you earlier on that you file processes in the registry, then it will be forwarded to court. We hear situations where some court clerk will say, if you don't give me money, I will not put it in the file. It will not enter the file. All and behold, they will say, they did this. How will the judge know now? Is it me, the judge, that they will come and do process? They didn't bring it, they didn't bring it. I talked about belief before. You don't give them money now, they will not solve your process and your matter will suffer. Don't bring it. How about preparation of fake judgment and fake orders? One is common with court staff. A friend of mine who stays in Michigan sent a divorce judgment to me and said, Bayo, I beg, help me check this judgment from our court, the High Court of Oyo State. Let me see whether it's fake or not original. Sent it via WhatsApp. By the time I looked at it, it was my signature and it was forged. So I called the lawyer back. Her name is Moira. Moira, now my judgment, now fake. Not be me sign this thing. No. That's when the court order. I not even look at himself. Somebody brought one from America again last week. We confirmed from a judge. Fake. Who prepared it? Court registrars. It's rampant with divorce matters, with people who stay abroad. So if they have 90 judgment, 100 judgment, I assure you 95 are fake. I've talked about fraudulent verification of bail processes. Now, your file process, all the while I was talking about criminal matters. Don't mind me, maybe it's because of my background. In civil matters too, before a matter goes to court. I saw one building there. I asked them, the dean and Professor Jola Shoda, is it part of your school? She said, yeah. They say, that's the hostel. Let's assume I sue Chief Kolada is here and I say I'm the owner of that property. You see that land that you built that hostel is my own. He said, no, it's my own. I bought it from so and so. He too said, what do you mean? You know, at that stage, we have not gone to court. I'll go and tell my lawyer, Professor Amusa, go and defend me in court. Write them that they are building on my land. Dr. Jola Osho will defend Chief Kolada. I said, no, we bought it. Of course, we exchange papers. 1 month, 2 months, 3 months. You do survey. Okay, they trespass on the half of my own. Where's your survey plan? Where's your survey plan? 3 months, 6 months, you are still doing that. At the end of the day, look, charge him to court. Who is he? Is it because he has money more than me? Charge him to court, and the matter goes to court. Now, you start calculating how long it took to finish the matter from the date you file to the date you deliver judgment. How about all those pre-trial processes? They are part of it. Most cases, civil matters are filed, and it's during trial that they prepare survey plan. If it took them 6 months to prepare survey plan, the court has to wait. It took them 7 years to finish the matter. What happens? I did a matter in Ogbomoso. It was filed, was it 91 or 93? I delivered judgment 2009. Now calculate how long it took. And the case, the land they are fighting for was purchased 1965. The man that bought the land had died. It was the wife that was doing the matter. The wife, a retired nurse, 96 years, when she was testifying. Her voice had ceased. So the court clerk had to stand near her. By the time that one had to re-echo whatever, because if she's speaking, the man standing here will not hear what she's saying. In fact, the matter had passed through 13 judges before I heard it. Whose fault now? So, but if you now hear, although we filed case, we filed it in 1991. When was the judgment delivered? 2019. 18 years. I'm at that joint, my buruke. Whose fault is it? If I didn't put my feet down, we would not have concluded that matter. And once I'm posted again, the lawyers will write again that we don't want him to complete, we want to start afresh. Now, Execution of judgment. Okay, like the scenario I painted now. At the end of the day, after 7 years, judgment is delivered. No appeal. The Court of Appeal and Supreme Court. And the court says Chief Kolada SC owns the land. And I'm on the land. You know they have to levy execution to drive me away. Can you levy execution free of charge? Levying execution means you get your judgment, you write that you want to levy execution, you pay, they get police and the bailiffs to come and drive away whoever is there and hand the judgment over to whoever won the case. Can you do that one free of charge? Can you go and pack 50 policemen to go and levy execution free of charge? Now, we have talked about how corruption is perpetrated, who is involved in the corruption, and how it is done. Can we wipe? You know, I asked you earlier on, is it possible to wipe off corruption in the system? You are still saying no. Now, I started by saying that if you want to appoint people who can do the job, who are clean. You know, earlier on in the beginning, we say corruption must not be seen as done. You must not only show that justice has been done, it must be seen that the man that knows nothing, he must see that, oh, yes, it's true. And I started with the scenario of me collecting bribe from a student, changing 30 to 80 to make him score A. And that kind of student now comes out and appears before me. What do you expect? 2013, I was in the Civil Litigation Department of Federal Ministry of Justice. One of my schedule of duties is that if a lawyer is given a brief, given a file to handle on behalf of the Fed, and he finishes the file, I'm to review and recommend that he should be paid. Me, call it Mumu. I don't wait to see the lawyer. Once the file comes, you write, and they forward it to me, and I see there is a completed judgment. I read the judgment, and I see that it terminates the case. Immediately, I will recommend go and pay him his money. I don't have to see you. One lady now came. She mentioned an Igbo name. I didn't even know that she speaks Yoruba. Oga, our file is before you. They say you are the one handling it. What's the name? I checked her. I've sorted it now. I've treated it. She went back and told her Oga that the man don't treat her more. When they paid them, I think it was 3 million. I was seated in my office one day. She now came with an envelope and said, my Oga said, make I dash you 100,000. I said, no. Me, I didn't even know. I don't know you now. The man came and said I was a member of House of Rep. I said, I better keep your money, though. I don't have to see you now. Me, I don't do my work. Which work I do? Is it you? Do you know? I know how to suffer where you suffer before you finish game. Go away with your money, though. Don't worry. Even one of my colleagues called me in the office and said, but now dash them, dash. I said, me, I don't want to make the carry money go. They left. I'm sure I saw surprise on his face, but honestly, that's what I did. Wait now, you've not heard the story. That 2013, shortly, I was made a judge. 2015 Rivers State governorship election, when Wike just won. I was in the panel. In case you don't know, I was a member of that panel. You know, it was the hottest case in Nigeria then. That lawyer that gave me 100,000, that dash is not bribe, that I didn't collect, was in the PDP team. I collected that dash. What will he tell the others? Did I know that they will appoint me a member of Rivers State governorship election? Did I know that that lawyer will appear before me? Will I even look at his face? It was dash. Will he even tell those ones that it was dash? Now my party now, I know him now. May una go settle him now, he go take. I talked about proper monitoring of people who are to be made judges and magistrates. You have to look into who you make magistrates. Most people don't know the difference between a magistrate and a high court judge. Most people go before magistrates. Once a magistrate collects bribe, it's all judges that are corrupt. After appointment, the monitoring should not stop at pre-appointment. After appointment, they should be monitored. If you ask me to publish my statement of account in the bank today, I don't mind. I have nothing to hide. You want to come and check my house, so TV, where did you see money to buy this one? I will tell you. Where did you see money to buy this one? I will tell you. Because I don't collect bribe. Lifestyle of judges and magistrates should be monitored. If I come here today and I bring a Rolls Royce, where did I see money to buy it? How much is my salary? Ferrari. Or I tell you that, do you know I have a 6-bedroom apartment in London? Where did I see money? Or I have 10 cars. Or all my 6 children, I don't have 6 anyway. All my 6 children are schooling in London and America. Where will the judge get that kind of money? To me, those are the things which should be monitored. Or I want to fly to Abuja, and as a judge, I go and charter a private jet. You are saying, where did I get that kind of money? Me, that if I'm going to Abuja, man, if they allow me to do standing so that I'll pay half money, I don't mind. I recommended that we should have CCTV cameras in our courts. I've been a judge since 2013. Me, I've not seen any CCTV camera in any court. Because if you have CCTV camera, you can monitor anything. I have a matter in my court that was before a judge, and it now came to my court. There is an argument which the lawyers argue there that the originating process is the writ, that the lawyer that filed the writ did not sign it, which is fundamental. That when they made it an issue in court, that they discovered that signature had appeared there. Who is right? Who is wrong? That they wrote a petition to the chief registrar to find out which staff colluded with the other lawyer to make him sign. Whether the lawyer is saying the truth, whether the registrar is saying the truth, how will I know? If there is CCTV camera, we'll fish that one out. If you say a lawyer gave a judge bribe, if there is CCTV camera, you will know. You can't access the chambers of a judge. From the court room, you have to pass through the court officials. If you pass through the judge's entrance, there is secretary. So if you say you gave a judge 10 million, you can't put 10 million in your pocket now. How did you bring it to him? How did he take it home? Wouldn't the CCTV camera expose all those ones? I suggested that some matters be given time frame within which to conclude. Let's assume that I have a matter, landlord-tenant. I rented a house in Bodija, and I will not pay rent. They sue me to court. One came before me. Somebody bought a house. Somebody stays abroad, bought a house. He to vacate the house for one reason or the other. His argument is that the former owner, he repaired the house, and the former owner has not paid him money. So if they don't pay him that money, he will not refuse the house. I only ask that the matter be struck out this April. He has not been paying rent since 2011. How many years? 12 years. He didn't pay 1 kobo rent. Owner of house cannot move into your house. And the tactics he employs is that he will write petition against the judge, report the judge to NJC, report the lawyer. He has changed like 9 lawyers. Well, these days in civil matter, we have what is called written deposition of witnesses, which you go to court and you say you adopt. For God's sake, we can do it for criminal matters. We can do it for landlord-tenant matters. If they say a matter is in Abolongo, they can't bring the defendant. Why can't we do Zoom trial? Why can't we do Zoom? Do they have to bring him or her? Why can't we have criminal divisions in our high courts? Have a judge. Some judges don't like criminal matters, except we are deceiving ourselves. They don't even want to hear it. Some have flair for it. Why won't you have criminal division? Where judges who have flair for criminal matters will hear criminal matters alone. I'm assure you that cases will move. The judge that has flair for criminal matters, if you tell him that, look, go and sit in Oyo tomorrow, he'll go at his own expense. Because, okay, I'm sure a lot of Nigeria and England wants to come and play Nigeria. At Onikon, you want to watch it live. Okay, let's not even go far. I like to watch football matches. In 2003 or so, Brazil came to play Nigeria in Abuja. There was a time Manchester United came to play in Abuja. I went to watch. I'm paying out of my salary, I paid to watch it. Then my salary was, I think 13,000. Ticket was 2,000. I ran away from the office like 2 o'clock. The match was to start by 6 p.m. So by 2 o'clock, I was seated in the stadium, all because I have flair. Now imagine if it's free of charge. The man that does not like football match, if you ask him to go and watch free of charge, I'm not interested. That's what you say. Now relate it to our work now. The one that has flair for criminal matters will do anything free of charge. You will handle the matter. Now we talked about technology. You'll be shocked that as of today, that we took Easter break. I'm not talking now if we resume. We still write in longhand. So when a witness is saying anything, you'll be writing it down. You say anything, you write it down. So how long will it take? Some cross-examination. I'm handling a matter now. The former chairman of the National Union of Road Transport, they call auxiliary. Cross-examination in trial within trial of one witness took 2 days. 2 days. Trial within trial, cross-examination, 2 days. One witness. Imagine what I will have written and written. We'll sit every day from like 10 to 3, 10 to 4, 10 to 2. Now we'll now go back to the main trial. How will it move fast? 2008, I went to Singapore. So they gave us options. You like to see their court, or you want to go to beach, or you want to go? I said, no, it's court that I want. They took me to court. They don't have court of appeal. They have high court, and they have Supreme Court. So I asked them there. I raised my hand. Trust me with Oversabi. How long does it take to conclude a matter here? They said, if it's a very tough matter from our High Court and Supreme Court, final decision, 6 months. I said, hey, 6, what did you say? That one is the toughest case, that normally is 3 months. How do you do it? They say, you see on our table, like in your library, I went to your library today. Every lawyer's table, you have computer there. That you don't file, you do e-filing, you file from your office. You don't have to come to court. You don't have to know the staff. You pay and you file from your office. The people there will send to the judge. So when you are coming to court, that's the first time I heard this phrase, paperless court. You will not see a paper in their court. So the judge has his own computer, the lawyer has his own that. The only reason, if you don't like our own computer, you can bring your own laptop. You use your laptop, proceeding is being recorded. They have CCTV. So at the end of the day, here we apply for record of proceedings. No, they don't allow. If you can wait, they will do it and they will give you the DVD. You go and watch it in your house. So if the judge wants to write judgment, he will play the DVD. This I was looking like Mumu. I was not satisfied. I raised my hand again. Okay, so if you want to tender document or any exhibit, how do you do it? They say that one is very simple. Look at that gadget. They pointed to something like a computer printer. That when you place any document on it, everybody is seeing it. And they will have sent it to the other party ahead. Because of shame, I could not ask any question again. I'm talking of 2008. We are 2023 now. In fact, I asked them again outside that which company did this thing for you? They mentioned one name. They say Cisco. That's the first time I heard of Cisco. And an official of that company was there. I now called him that, boss, can we make arrangement to write Nigeria down? He said, you have to get an international organization to do it, or your federal government has to say, we don't just do it for anybody. This is how I was looking at them. Though these days, some states have started. I learned Rivers has it. Somebody sent a video of Delta too. Other states, assuming everything I'm saying now, you have to be writing it down. I'm sure we'll not finish this lecture today. So even the handwritten process is prone to corruption. The judge will write the one he likes. The one he doesn't like, he will not write. In some climes, in some jurisdiction, federal high courts, I've gone to the court in Kenya before. We have what is called record book. You write in a book. But for federal high courts and like Kenya, they don't have record book. The judge will bring Fuska paper put it, number it, and be writing there. So each file, the record is in each file. We have had situations where, because of corruption, it can be changed. They can remove that one, write favorable one, and put there. That's where we find ourselves. But if it's being recorded, and then you know that they are recording you, can you do that one? Remember the case of Oscar Pistorius, the South African guy that had his leg amputated, that killed his girlfriend. I was monitoring the trial. The female judge, if you remember, she was not writing anything. Everything was being recorded. She was not writing. She only scribbled some notes. The Floyd guy in America, remember, was the guy that was the policeman shot. If you remember the trial, the judges were not writing. Everything was being recorded. If that kind of trial comes up in Nigeria, I assure you that 4 years they can't finish it. Assuming the matter now takes 4 or 5 years and the judge retires, what happens? You start afresh from another judge. And it's a tactic by lawyers. When they know that the judge is almost retiring, they will delay. Oh. When you are retired, is it not, you start de novo. Now, for lawyers, recommendations which I mentioned, it might seem a bit harsh, but I assure you that it will work. Filing online. These days, in the Oyo State, they do affidavit file. Affidavit is online. That has reduced corruption. It has not eliminated, but it has reduced. I said every letter of adjournment should attract 50,000 naira filing fee. Somebody is saying, it's 1,000 now. It's not difficult to pay. But if you make it 50,000, maybe 100,000. Now, if a matter is fixed for hearing and parties are not ready to hear the matter, let them pay a fine of 500,000 or 1 million. You are saying, You see, because the judge has already arranged himself. I have 2 trials today. I have 2 trials tomorrow. Once they mess up your diary, it's a problem. That's why you realize that a court will list 8 matters for hearing. 2 may go on, 2 may not go on. You might list 10 matters for hearing, none is going on. So who is losing? Whether you hear it or not, they will pay the salary of the judge. Now, filing of frivolous applications by lawyers and personal fine for the lawyers. You should pay minimum of 250,000. If you realize that you already know that it's laid down principle of law that what you are filing will not fly. You already know. So why will you file it? To delay matter. Well, I talked about more sanctions should be taken against lawyers guilty of professional misconduct. We have had situations where a lawyer will come to court. I'm sorry, my lord. I forgot to bring my wig at home. You are saying, I forgot my wig and gown at home. I only brought the gown. I didn't bring the wig. All because he doesn't want to go on. Me, I have answer. You see that wig and gown that I was using as a prosecutor? I still have it. Lana can say, no problem. I'll go and bring one in chambers. We are gone. Now, for judges and magistrates, recommendation, I've mentioned that one, installation of CCTV camera, improvement of welfare. Honestly, some magistrates go to courts on Okada. Some don't have personal cars. How do you explain that one? You take vehicle from to Oyo, magistrate seated, accused seated near him. You are saying, until March, some people have been made magistrates in Oyo State. Since 2010, they just gave them a car in this year, and it didn't go around. So the one that does not have money to buy personal car, what will he do? Won't he take public transport? I talked about provision of vehicles, of official house, adequate security. Look at your house. Look at motor garage. What kind of people do you see in motor garage now? Is it not out? They all know your house. You are not secluded from them. The next man to your house, armed robber, I talked about electronic recording of devices. It makes case move faster. You don't have to write. I assure you that a lot of retired judges, do you know the number one problem they face? In here. Here. Particularly here. Some judges cannot even sign their check again because of excess writing. He was a magistrate for 10 years. Right. They made him high court judge. Right. What will happen to the hand now? And writing is not what you say that is when you are tired of writing with your right hand, you change to left. And you do that one. I talked about e-platform to track and monitor all cases. As we are seated here, if you want to know how many cases I have in my court, for God's sake, there should be a website which you can open. Find out how many cases is this useless judge having himself. Which work is he doing? And what are the stages of all cases? You can find out, is he really working? How many hearings did he do in a month? How many did he do in a year? Yes, the NJC says we must deliver a minimum of 6 judgments in every quarter. That is average of 2 per month. But that is the minimum. I can decide that Shebi is only 6 now. Divorce matter, I can write 2, 3 judgments and forget about criminal matter. But from my returns, if there is a way you can track it, you will know the one that is lazy, the one that is not lazy. I recommended more use of community service. You know what is called community service? You sentence somebody to prison, but he's not going to the 4 walls of the prison. But you can send, these days, what we do is that we ask them to come and clean the court premises. So you are serving a prison term, but you are not locked up. We do that for a lot of Yahoo boys. You did Yahoo. You defrauded somebody $800, 1,000, 200, 300, and you have refunded the money. So instead of saying, go away, or yeah, come and sweep. Then you'll be useful to us now. You can clean our court premises now. I also mentioned alternative like seizure, compensation. Somebody is caught stealing my phone, and they recover it from him. Or when he was running away, the phone dropped, and he said, I will give you another one. I no one go to prison. They have given you another one. Or nothing happened to the phone. They have recovered it. What else do you want? So sentence him to 3 years imprisonment. The government again will pay to feed him in prison. Civil forfeiture, negotiation. Somebody has committed a crime. You stole 5 million from the accounts. And you stole 1 million from KDU. They caught you red-handed. Trace the money to your account. Okay, Shemi Jeje, take it easy with me. You can have your money back. In fact, I will pay KDU extra 5 million to leave me. Collect your 5 million, return your 5 million. Your car, uncle, and you can even collect in fact, my house. That's what we call civil forfeiture. In reality, he should go to prison. But if you look at it again, has he not returned your money? You even gain more now. Those are options. If you look at NDLEA, 98% of NDLEA cases are plea bargain. You rarely hear that they sentence, he will just plead guilty because of the nature of the offense. That's the American system. Because if you say that every criminal trial, every crime will face trial and you load the judge, the system will crash. So if you consider civil forfeiture, plea bargain, and so on, it will reduce the pressure on the court, pressure on the prisons. I assure you the criminal, so it's selective cases that will go to trial. Now, for the Ministry of Justice, I recommended improving the welfare of the lawyers. Because if you ask them, Nibo, I come to car with my court. Who will fuel my car? How can I come every day? I can't be using the bus. I live in Ojo. Ministry is in Secretariat. So I will drive from Ojo, go and carry file in Secretariat, then go to Oyo for case. This is what they will do. God forbid, Allah Majid. But if they are well taken care of, you make adequate provision to take them to court. You pay them well. Then I talked about electronic way of communicating legal opinion. I said that specifically because if they form legal opinion, sometimes they are written legal opinion, no. we recommended that Abubakar Ishak should not be charged for an offense. Sometimes 2 years, the man is still in prison. He's not aware that they're written legal opinion. One was before me in Ibadan. I got tired of it. 2.5 years. They have not formed legal opinion. They said they are formed opinion. I said, case, I'm adjourning this matter till 2 p.m. I hereby order you, legal officer, wherever the legal opinion is, go and get it in the ministry. Share is adjournment now. I adjourned from 10 o'clock to 2 o'clock. I threatened her. She ran kaba to the ministry. They search and search and search and search and search and search and search. By 2 o'clock, they came back. Court. Yes? My Lord, I found the legal opinion. We have found an opinion that he should not be charged to court. I say, bring it. By the time I look at the date, they have formed the opinion 2 years earlier. You know what I told the defendant? As I'm looking at you, be going home like this. He didn't even wear bata. He ran away. He didn't even collect any. The prison official called him. No, leave him. Bring your paper. Let me endorse it. How do you compensate such a fellow for spending 2 years? Now, I recommended that lawyers in the ministry should be compensated for every case file they finish. Pay the man extra 20, 50,000, even 10,000. So in a year, if you finish 20 cases, and they are even paying you 20,000 or 5,000, that means you have extra 100,000. Will then that not motivate them to work more? At the end of the year, I will collect my money in bulk. I want to collect it once. Even if it's deposit for school fees. Won't it work? I talked about provisions of means of attending court. I served in Erua. The legal officer that was posted to my court, I called her. Because of my experience, I worked in the ministry. I said, look, do they pay you money to go to court? She said, Nibo. Okay. I can be taking you to court. Join me, I will take you there, and I will bring you back. That encouraged the officer to be coming to court. And when I take the officer to court, immediately I get to court, I will announce, I gave the lawyer from the ministry lift. Does that, the issue of fair hearing, does that in any way arise? They will say, no, if you don't bring him to court, my lord, they will not come and the defendant will suffer. And our cases was moving. Our cases were moving. Any matter will come to court, someone's for bail, they will hear the one that needs bail will give bail. Otherwise, it will not move. I do it in Shaki too. Because the cases will not move. They will tell you that there's no provision for transportation. Provision of payment for fund for witness expenses. Criminal matter from Shaki, they will send to SAS in Ibadan. The man that investigated the IPO initially at the police station in Ojewode, who will pay him to come and testify in court? But if the ministry or even the court make provision for payment of witness expenses, it will encourage them. The issue will not be which is true. Now, for court staff, I talked about we should ensure that there's minimal interaction between the court staff and the public. In most advanced countries, once the judge rises, the court officials will lock the door of the court. You can never enter. Never, ever. But here, I'm here now. My court is open. How do I know who has come and who has gone? I don't know. So if you want order, court judgment, it is the registry that you go to. You know when you go to MTN office and you have a complaint, they will ask you what do you want. There's something that they will punch. And then they will give you a number. You never want straight in like this. I saw that one first time in a court abroad. What do you want? Court order. Sit down there. They'll punch it. What's the name of the case? They'll tell you. Within 10 minutes, they'll give you. Why can't we do that one? Do you have to go and see the court official? Because the man giving you doesn't work in the open court. Will that not limit corruption? Affidavit. Opt it to go to front of high court. People will still shouting, affidavit, affidavit, affidavit. How will he do it? How won't they do fake ones? I recommended that affidavit or that judgment should be done online. The system will work. Now, what happens? These days, the situation is that when a staff is accused of taking bribe or is corrupt, what is the punishment? Posting. You post him to another court. Is that a deterrent? Now, for investigating bodies, I recommended that there should be time frame within which investigation. It should not be at large. If there is need, they should ask for more time. Because we have situations where you call for reinvestigation, additional investigation, but give time frame. Don't leave it at large. Now, for arrest, needless arrest and detention, there should be sanction for it. You read in the newspapers that they awarded cost against government for unlawful detention. How about the people involved in it? How about the people? There should be strict sanction and penalty for unlawful arrest. And we should make arrest less lucrative. If it's too lucrative, it will go on. But if the man knows that if he does any unlawful arrest, there will be problem, will he not reduce? Now, money for bail, how do we eliminate it? If there is no need for any arrest, the issue of getting bail will be reduced. If somebody calls you now and say, a student, that, mommy, and your parents call you that, ọlọ́pàá mà ní kí n wá. Even you that you are in school, you will panic. Even you law lecturer, your spouse calls you, your husband or your wife that, àwọn ọlọ́pàá ní kí n wá ní Bodija police station. Won't you panic? Because the first thing you ask yourself is that, how much do I have? But if you know that it will not involve money, you will not, yes, go there. But how many people will say go there? You say, duro, lock a lawyer. Even if the man is a witness or wahala. I talked about synergy between law enforcement agencies. Like I mentioned, I'm telling you reality now. We have cases in Shaki. We have cases in Ibadan. And you call for additional investigation activities or in Oyo. For God's sake, why won't the police in SAS call the police in Oyo that help us do these investigation activities and send the result to us? But because of corruption, everybody wants to be in charge. Can you please, we heard that some students are doing so. Can you please get them arrested and bring them? But the one in Ibadan is the one that wants to go there because he knows that if he arrests all the pecs, is the one that will benefit. The one that he says to go and do the arrest will benefit. He doesn't want that one. I talked about use of electronic means. If a crime happens in my presence and you want a witness to come and give statement, for God's sake, why can't he do it electronically and send it to you? We can print out WhatsApp messages now. We can print out email, send a message to him, call him that, can you email it to so and so address? Tell us what happened, put it in form of email and send it to us. Why can't we do that one? But in advanced country, they do it. The policeman will tell you that you phone him. You don't have to come. It's very difficult for you to enter police station abroad. But here, if they want you to enter, enter. I talked about provision of modern means of taking statement. DNA. One of the easiest ways to track a crime, if you watch films, you notice that they cover their face and they wear hand gloves. Do you know why? Because they don't want their fingerprints to appear. Why can't we take fingerprints? Scene of crime. That's why you notice, watch film, you see that they are wearing gloves. And they wear hood and only pierce their ears and wear glasses. All because they are covering their identity, particularly DNA. With DNA, let them just capture, let me touch this thing like this. This microphone now, you can get my DNA with because I've touched it. Have you heard of that one in Nigeria before? Like somebody tell me one day, they play. Now, we have situations whereby, when I was in ICPC one day, wanted to arraign somebody. He was on bail. We went to the police that, please, we want to get so and so produced so that we can arraign him in court. The policeman, do you know what he told me? One gun we no get. One single gun we no get. You see me where they do night duty, now the one where don't spoil like they repair. I left dejected that night. What if people attack somebody that night? What happens? I thought about training, retraining, training and retraining of policemen. I hope they take to training and retraining. Well, in conclusion now, the paper is to talk about what is our criminal justice system, which process does it go through, which problem arises that breeds corruption. That's why I started with the Ichioku that has been there since like 1900. So it's nothing new. And we are still battling with it. It's getting worse and worse every day. You hear a lot of cases. They have bribed the judge. Remember election petition of Kano State, the one they did last time, that the Court of Appeal, they produced 2 sets of judgment for the Court of Appeal. Can you remember? In one, they affirmed the judgment. In one, they did not affirm it. Can you remember? With due respect to the judge, I know him one-on-one. He knew nothing about it. They had, in the Court of Appeal, one will write leading judgment. The others will confirm, affirm. They have written the judgment, they have typed it, they have delivered the judgment. To reproduce, one thing or the other happened. Somebody tampered with a staff, a secretary, and they put the wrong thing. The judge did not see it. That's what happened. He didn't see it. Because even the paper, I'm sure if you read my paper, you see mistakes. So if you change anything there and I don't see it and assign it, how will I know? It was only the grace of God that saved the judge, that hypertension did not kill him. Because of the shock. But this is not what we read. This is not what we read. And I signed what we didn't read. Those are some of the challenges we face. Again, like I tell you, can we eliminate corruption in the judicial system? I rest my case. Thank you very much.
Jola Osho. Also, we want to acknowledge the presence of Professor Faboyede of the Department of Accounting. You're welcome, sir. Also, we want to acknowledge the presence of Professor Fidelis Ogumike of the Department of Economics. Thank you very much for coming. Now we'll take the questions, please.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Okay, I have some here already. All right. Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. I stand on the existing protocol, sirs. Yes. So I have two questions here. But after asking these questions, if you have any other questions or responses, kindly signify. Then we'll give you numbers. Is that fine? Thank you. So the first question, sir. You mentioned in your lecture that there is a connection between an increment in the emolument of justices and a corrupt-free criminal justice system. If so, why has the review of the emolument not eradicated the spate of corruption in the justice system? Is that clear, sir? Yes, sir. The second question, sir. My lord, sir, it is public knowledge that the punishment for corrupt practices in China is death penalty, and this has been effective. Would you advocate for that in the criminal justice system in Nigeria? All right, sir. So I would, okay, sir. So would you like to answer these first two first? Yes, sir. So after answering those questions, we'll take the other ones. Thank you.
I'll answer the second question first. If I will advocate for death penalty, My answer is yes. Yes, capital yes. You see, like the Supreme Court has said earlier on that a corrupt judge is worse than a madman holding a dagger and stabbing everybody all over. It's worse. It's worse. As a judge, what do you need a private jet for? Like I said earlier on. What do you need a Rolls Royce for? You see, if you have a house that is as big as this hall, if your sitting room is this big, or your room, do you know that you can only sleep under one roof? One. Because if you put a roof near you, it's taller than you. So if your house is this big and you lie down on top of your bed, you can't occupy more than one roof. So what do you need it for? What do you need it for? You ask yourself. Not only judge, anybody that is corrupt, civil servant, debt, maybe that will stop it. You are saying her. That's my answer. She mentioned emolument vis-a-vis corruption. With increment and emolument, will it assist corruption? Will it wipe out corruption? Even people who work in NNPC are corrupt. CBN. If you pay the man that is corrupt $10 million every day, if he's a thief, he will still steal a pen. Yes, it's good to increase emolument, but we should take more stringent measures to ensure that, look, if you have Ojukokoro, stay away from the judiciary, stay away from public office.
I'd like to ask Prof to ask his question, sir.
Thank you very much, sir. I can see why they call lawyers learned colleagues now. But I learned a lot today. I have two questions for you, sir. My name is Tim Odiaka. I'm a chemistry teacher. The first question is on Godwin Emefiele, the former CBN governor. The second question is on our president. Well, I'm from Delta State, and I was in Delta State last year. I went to see the estates that Emefiele built. Very mighty estates. But I don't think he used the naira. I think he used dollars, billions of dollars to build that estate. Now, why is he free? Why is he not arrested? Why is he not in the court? Why is he not in prison today for that, for corruption? That Emefiele. Why is he? Where is he? We don't know where he is. For 2 years now, he's still hiding somewhere. He's not in prison. Is he? Has he been in prison for it? Has he been put in prison for what? So I want to know why he's still free. The second question is on our presidency. I left Cambridge in 1981 to join UI. And since then, the only president I respect is the Hausa president, the one that was overthrown by Buhari. What's his name? Shehu Shagari. That was the only president I respect. He was not corrupt. Others have been corrupt. Why? You ask why, whether corruption can be eradicated or not. The answer is no. Because it's only in Nigeria that once you are a president, your wife becomes a second president. And you call them first ladies. You give them a beautiful house. You pay them every month. You have people when they go to the toilet, somebody follow them. When I go to the market, that is corruption. We didn't vote, but if I'm president today, you didn't vote my wife as president. I'm supposed to be the president, not my wife. My wife should not be known by anybody. But here in Nigeria, you call them first ladies, and you pay them and those things. That's corruption. To me, all our presidents have been corrupt. Why is it that you lawyers say that once they finish their tenure and leave, they are immune from everything? They can't go to court. Why is the immunity on them when they are corrupt? And you are hiding the corruption by giving them immunity. Please, I beg you, all lawyers, including my best friend here, that immunity should be cancelled. That you put immunity from today. No more immunity for any president.
I'll take the first one first. I'm aware that Emefiele is facing trial. His case, I think, is going on because the lawyer that represents him represents somebody else in my court. So the matter is going on, but whether he is on bail or they bring him to court from prison, honestly, I don't know. I don't know whether he was granted bail or not. I don't know. But the trial, I assure you, is going on. Like I said earlier on, criminal trial goes through stages, investigation and trial. So many things delay trial. Trial is not one you finish in a day, in a month, or sometimes not even in a year. Some cases are very complex, and it takes a lot of time, forensic analysis and so on. So I think that will answer that one. But I know Emefiele's case is going on. As for the president, yes, there is immunity. From my little understanding of the reason why immunity is there, again, the immunity only says that when you are holding a public office as president, vice president, governor, or deputy governor, you are immune from being charged to court, facing trial. But you can be investigated. You are not immune from investigation. They can investigate you while you are in office, but they cannot charge you to court. The reason why that one is there is that to shield you from distraction. I assure you that because of the kind of human being we are, the day we remove that immunity, we'll be changing president and governors every 90 days. Or whatever, no matter how frivolous. But if they investigate you and you are to be charged to court, once you leave office, we have cases of governors who have been charged to court, who have been committed, immediately they step out of the office. When we're in ICPC, somebody wrote a petition against Obasanjo. Honestly, we investigated it. We didn't broadcast the outcome of the investigation. Because typical of Nigerians, if you go out and say, they investigated president and they didn't find anything for that allegation, everybody, what do you expect them to say? No, mind them, Jare. But I assure you, Justice Mustafa Akombi late was the chairman of ICPC then. We investigated, but that allegation, we didn't find anything. Well, for governors, presidents being corrupt, Shagari is not corrupt. Well, you are entitled to your opinion. If you ask for my personal opinion, the one I like most is Umaru Musa Yar'Adua. Unfortunately, he didn't stay long. The first lady, we don't have constitutional provision for the office of first lady, governor, local government, even first lady of councillor, and governor's president. But which one is not performing the duties? Which one is not spending public funds? We even have a federal high court judgment which says there is nothing like office of first lady. There is a federal court judgment. Somebody went to court, got judgment, but who is implementing it? A judgment is a piece of paper until it's implemented. It's like letter of admission. It's a piece of paper until you resume there and you admitted. Who will implement it? There's office of wife of Inspector General of Police, wife of Chief of Army Staff, in case you don't know. So who do you go and report to? That governor, so and so, wife ought not to be first lady. They are using official car. They are using government money to cook food. They are using government money to give our lopa. Who do you go and report to? That's where me and you find ourselves. Who will implement it? Nobody. Go and report to president that governor of Oyo State is making his wife first lady of Oyo State. Wife of president. Which, if she's traveling, how does she travel? Is it not official FGN plane? Which vehicle will carry her? Where are they living? I hope I've answered your question.
We can only take one more question. Okay. Okay, sir. One more question, sir.
Permit me to observe the existing protocols, and thank you very much for the thought-provoking and interesting lecture. I want to address the question, is it possible to wipe off corruption in Nigeria? I must say that it is extremely difficult to wipe out corruption in any country and not just Nigeria. Because corruption, I believe that corruption is solely rooted in human behavior and institutional weakness. As the current student president of Colorado University, I've been privileged and opportune to visit organizations, and I've seen how these organizations run. So I can say boldly that corruption is also rooted in human behavior. Change should begin with us. And let me liken it to the health sector. Is it possible to eradicate diseases? There are some diseases that you cannot eradicate completely, but it could be controlled. So as corruption. Corruption might not be eradicated 100%, but it could be reduced to the barest minimum, whereby it is no longer the norm, but it becomes an exception. Countries like Denmark and Singapore, they've been able to reduce corruption, and in countries like that, they are still monitoring it. That means it takes consistency to eradicate corruption. It is not a one-time fix. And this topic, I must say for the law students in the house, this is a good project topic for you guys. And the question is, how can we be empowered to actively participate in monitoring and report corruption within the criminal justice system without the fear of retaliation? This question basically connotes that there's a fear factor in whistleblowing. So how can this fear factor be addressed? Thank you.
Well, I must tell you from my experience as a prosecutor with ICPC that there is no country in the world where you will not find anybody that is corrupt. Even in China, that we refer to, that prescribe death penalty, despite the stiff penalty, people still perpetrate corruption. Corruption can be reduced. I should not sleep in my house that day. As I'm jumping from DSS, I should be jumping EFCC, ICPC should be fighting. Now we go hold on first. Now we go hold on first. Because I should explain where I got that money from. Does that happen in modern day? Not even as a judge. If a student sees a lot of 1 million in his account, nobody asks any question. Nobody. So long as we do that kind of thing, too bad. He talked about whistleblowing and fear of reporting crime. We should have a system whereby, assuming he as student union leader wants to report it's so bad that if you write a petition to ICPC, EFCC, police, before the man who is being reported is told, the man who is collecting the petition is the one that will go and collect him. Oga, they are writing petition against you. Is that not trouble? Write a petition against IG of police. Before they go and investigate, when they go and tell him, that you know that one idiot, one stupid judge that sits in Ibadan, one local judge that calls himself Bayota who wrote a petition against you, look at it. Is that right? Am I not in trouble? No, imagine if I'm not even a judge, an ordinary man on the street. Is he not a dead man?